Hey David, I wanted to leave you some feedback on your rough draft. Let me start off by saying this. I recommend that you start going to the writing center and working with the tutors on your writing. Um, there are quite a few lower order concern errors in this submission, along with larger order concerns. I'll try to talk about those with you in this video, but I recommend that you start working with the tutors. There's a lot of errors in this particular document, and similar errors going on in your previous essay, your essay one, that I think it would be a good idea for you to schedule an appointment with them. If you go over here to this link, it says the Student Success Center. You can click on that, and then you will find a way to you'll find the hours for the writing tutors. And if you're uncomfortable with going in person because of COVID, I think they are doing online tutoring as well. Another option is to come in and start seeing me during my office hours. I recommend you do one or the other, or quite possibly both. Because as I said before, there are so many issues going on in this piece of writing. I think that working with the tutors for the remainder of the semester will probably be one of the things that you can do to have a successful outcome in the course. So let's talk about your writing assignment. First off, make sure that you are indeed using MLA. You have this heading is not correct, so please review MLA format. In addition, you're missing your header over here. These questions are interesting, but they come out of nowhere for the reader, meaning your introduction really doesn't create enough context for the reader. These questions. So the reader has no idea what little girl you're talking about, why she's so close. It sounds so. So what I can guess is, what I guess is that you are reacting to the meme. But if you think about the way that you've written this, there's no clear context. Since it seems to be, the meme seems to be responding to the pandemic, that might be a better way to start context. So what I would do is start talking about the pandemic of 2020. What is it? What has daily life become for the average person? And since you seem to think that the meme connects to individuals in school, so students, probably a good place to focus would be students, right? What has the meme, or sorry, excuse me, what has the pandemic done for students? You have some description here, and I think there is some good description, but what you do not have is a thesis statement. So if you remember what we talked about, visual analysis or thesis-driven papers. So you want to make sure that there is a thesis that identifies the visual techniques that you are using to analyze this meme. And that is probably one of the bigger concerns with this paper. So as I said before, with thesis-driven papers, the reader expects that the thesis is present and that you are working to support that thesis. And if you don't have a thesis statement, your ideas are gonna they're going to be unfocused and unorganized, which is what's going on here. I like the idea of you talking about audience being students and teachers. School audience, I don't think is what you actually want to say here. What I would focus on is saying that the meme targets students, and then you could pivot to saying that and then explain why, and then you could pivot to explaining how the meme might also target teachers as well. You talk a little bit about purpose, and I think your purpose is right. But if you think about what's going on in this essay, there's really no clear indication of organization, right? So individually, these paragraphs are exploring ideas, but they're not really connecting to create a larger whole, right? They're not really focused on discussing an overarching idea. And that is because there's no thesis statement. So the best way to go about revising this submission is to re-outline. And so what I would do is start with a thesis statement and then identify the key ideas that you will then need to explore to support the thesis. In terms of your lower order concerns, there's quite a bit of editing to do You have a sentence fragment here, so this is a piece of a sentence that is incomplete because you're missing a verb. You need to edit for possessive form as well. So the reader's eye, it should be reader apostrophe s, because you're not talking about more than one reader. You're talking about the reader's eye, and you have that error here as well. There is also several spelling errors. So that's why I think that working with a tutor would be good for this assignment. The description works. I think that your audience changing the word choice here would work, and I think that you've identified your purpose quite well. But again, this really doesn't read like a rough draft because there is no thesis statement. So I would recommend starting with an outline and reorganizing this paper based on the thesis statement. You need that first. So please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.